So, good morning. First year Bcom Computer Applications, Semester 2, Programming in C and C++. So, in the previous class, we start a discussion about data types in C. So, it is a compulsory essay type question, one of the compulsory essay type question which is coming from Unit 1. So, what are the different data types? What are data types and what are the different data types available in C language? So, what is the definition? What is the definition of data type? Data type is nothing but it is a type of, it defines the type of storage or the type of memory used to store the contents of a variable or a memory location. Means generally we have different types of data available, like for example character data. Some variables have stored in characters, some variables uses strings. What is a string? String is nothing but some set of characters, example name, address, like that. Some variables use numeric data like age, marks, and some variables use decimal type of data, for example percentage of marks. So all these are the different types of data types or data memory types used in C language. Generally data types are used to store variety of data or different types of data in C language. So every data type have its own characteristics and properties, like some data types uses 8 bits, some data types uses 16 bit, or some data types uses 32 bit, 64 bit, like that. Again data types are different types, like signed data types and unsigned data types, and some data types are long data types and some data types are short data types. Some data types are floating data types and some are double data types, like that. All these are we already discussed briefly, or we have discussed elaborately in the previous classes. So just in today's class we just review or revise all these things once again. Why? Because data types is a compulsory essay type question. So these are the different data types. There are many types of data types are available. You have to write minimum 10 to 12 data types in your exam. So first data type is character. Again, each data type have its own properties and its own limitations and its own sizes. Means different So every data type have its own properties, limitations, and range of values to be stored. So the first data type is char. CHER means character data type. Char means character data type. Generally, char data types are used to store a single character or a single character of information. It occupies 8 bits or 1 byte. Generally 8 bits means 1 byte. So character data byte occupies. Why? Because 8 bits or 1 byte means generally it is used to store 1 byte of information or 1 byte of data or information only in the internal memory. So the range is minus 127 to plus 127. So again different types of character data types are used, like unsigned characters, signed characters, similarly, and other types also. Next, again character data type have different types or categories: unsigned char and signed char. Signed char and unsigned char. Signed char means generally its range is minus 127 to plus 127, and unsigned char means it is also both signed and unsigned occupies only 8 bytes or 1 byte. Unsigned occupies 0 to 255, and signed means it occupies minus 127 to plus 127. Another important data type is int. So char is used to store a single bit of characters, and unsigned char means only unsigned char. And another frequently used data type is int. Int data types are used to store integer numbers. So what is integer numbers? Integer numbers are also called as whole numbers. Whole numbers means a number without a decimal point. A number without a decimal point is called as a whole number. So integer data types are generally used to store whole numbers. Generally they occupy 16 or 32 bits, means 2 bytes or 4 bytes. They occupy integer numbers generally occupies 2 bytes or 4 bytes. 2 bytes means 16 bits, 4 bytes means 32 bits, and means it occupies 2 words or characters to 4 words or characters, and the range of integer data type is minus 32,767 plus 32,767, minus 32762 plus 32767. Again, integer data types are two types: unsigned integers and signed integers. Signed integers means they are purely positive numbers and they don't have any sign symbol, means either plus or minus symbol. Unsigned integers means only positive numbers. Signed numbers or signed integers means they have symbol with them, means a plus or a minus symbol. They have either a plus or minus symbol, and the range of unsigned integer is 0 to 65535, and the range of signed integer is same as integers. Short integers, again third type of integers. There are many types of subtypes of integer data type, like unsigned integers, signed integers, short integers, unsigned short integers, signed short integers, long integers, unsigned long integers, like that. So generally they may change, or the internal memory storage may change from one type to another type, and we start with integer. So integer occupies 2 bytes, 16 or 32 bytes, or 2 bytes to 4 bytes. The range is minus 3 to 7672 plus 3 to 767. Unsigned integer means it also occupies 16 or 32, means 2 or 4 bytes. Range is 0 to 65535. Signed integers means same. Short integers also occupies 2 bytes or 16 bits. Range is same as integers, minus 3 to 7672 plus 3 to 767. Unsigned short means it occupies 16 bits and range is 0 to 65535. Long integers occupies 32 bits, range is minus 2147483647 plus. So these are the different data types. Another important data type is float. What is float? Float numbers are also called as a real numbers or a decimal numbers. Float data types are a floating. What are floating point numbers or float numbers? Means a number with some decimal point inside it. Means generally floating point numbers have a decimal point in it, and they are also called as real numbers or decimal numbers or floating point numbers. Generally they occupy 32 bits or 4 bytes of data. The range is 3.4 E minus 38 to 3.4 E plus 38. Another type is double. What is a double data type? Double data type occupies double the size of the float. Means it occupies 64 bits or 8 bytes or 64 bits. The range is 1.7 E minus 3082 plus 1.7 E plus 308. Long double is another. So in floating point or real numbers, there are three data types are available: float, double, and long double. Float, double, and long double. Float means it occupies 4 bytes, double means it occupies 8 bytes, long double means it occupies 10 bytes. Another frequently used data type is void. Void means no return type. Generally void data types are used with whenever a data type or whenever a function without returning any value to a main function. In that situation we may use double. So what are the popular data types in C are char for to store character data types, int to store integer values, long means to store long integers, float means to store use and store floating values or real numbers, double means to store double the size of the floating point numbers or real numbers, long double means it is the double the size of double data type. Void data types means generally void is used used for data types without having or functions without returning any values. So data type is a compulsory set type question from unit 1. So different types of symbols are used. They are called as control conversion, control characters, control string characters. Different types of characters are used for different data types. They are called as control string characters. So for example, for integer data types we may use percentage %d symbol. Similarly for character data types we may use percentage %c symbol, and for floating point numbers we may use percentage %f symbol, and long data types we may use percentage %lf or percentage %ld. For unsigned data types we may use percentage %u, like that. So all these are different codes or symbols used for different data types used in C programs, and they are called as control string characters or control characters. So in C language there are some special symbols or special characters are also used. They are called as like backslash or escape sequence characters or backslash characters. So generally control N for new line character, control T for horizontal tab, control R for carriage written, control N for new line, control F means form feed, control B means backspace character. So next we may discuss about what are the different types of operators. What are the different types of operators available or used in C language. So as we discussed in the previous classes, C language have some tokens, collection of tokens, means collection of some data types, variables, constants, operators, like that. So in C language there are many types of different types of operators or symbols are used. There are many different types of operators are used in C language, like arithmetic operators, relational operators, unary operators, bitwise operators, like that. So another important essay type question in C language first and second units, coming from first and second units, is operators. So what are the different types of operators? What are the different types of operators used in C language? So as we know, in C language there are four types of operators are used. First one is arithmetic operators, second one is relational operators, third one is logical operators, fourth one is special operators, fifth one is some binary operators, like that. So we may discuss all these things from one by one here. So what are arithmetic operators? Generally arithmetic operators are used for doing some arithmetic operations like calculations, doing some arithmetic operations or calculations like additions, subtractions, divisions, multiplications, like that. So what are arithmetic operators? Arithmetic operators are addition. Generally plus is used for addition, minus for subtraction, star for multiplication, slash for division, percentage for remainder, like that. So arithmetic operators are generally used to do long complex arithmetic calculations by using some formulas and expressions. Relational operators. Another type of operator is called as a relational operator. What is a relational operators? Generally, relational operators are less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, equals to, not equals to, like that. Relational operators are generally used to compare two or more values or expressions or variables or combination of them. So simple example is A is greater than B. Is A is greater than B, or if 10 is greater than 5, like that. So what is a relational operator? Relational operators are used to compare two or more operators or expressions or constants or variables or combination of them by using some relational operators called less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, equals to, not equals to. So bitwise operators and logical operators. What are logical operators? Logical operators are used to compare, generally used to compare two or more conditions. So what is a condition or an expression in C language? Generally in C language, if you want to test any expression or any condition, so what is a condition? Condition is nothing but generally it gives either true or false values. So whenever you are going to test a condition, given condition, the result or outcome of a condition is generally true or false, or yes or no. For example, 10 is greater than 20. Is it true or false? Generally it is false expression or a false result. Similarly, A is greater than B, B is less than C, A double equals to B. So another important point in C language is there are two operators are used, equals to and double equals to. There are two types of operators are used, regularly used, equals to and double equals to. Equals to is called as assignment operator, means whenever you assign some value or whenever you initialize a variable or whenever you assign some variable, assign some constant to some variable, we may use a single equals to. Example is A is equals to 10 or B is equals to C plus D, like that, or average is equals, sum is equals to A plus B plus C, or average is equals to A plus B plus C by 3. All these are called as expressions. They are called as expressions. Generally expressions have left hand part and right hand part. In right hand part, left hand part, we may use a single variable. For example, sum is equals to A plus B. In the right hand side, we may use either we may use a single variable or a single expression or some complex expression or some constant like that. So example is a is equals to 10, b is equals to 20, sum is equals to a plus b, average is equals to sum by 2. So all these are called as expressions. So generally we may test the given expression if the result of if the given expression is whether it is true or false by using some relational operator. What are relational operators? Less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, and not equals to. So every relation generally gives either true or false values. For example, if a is greater than b, if a is greater than b means if the value of a is greater than value of b, then it is a true expression or it gives true value. Else means it is a false expression or a false value, it returns false value. So third type of, what are the different types of operators? What are the different types of operators used in C language? First one is arithmetic operators, second one is relational operators, third one is logical operators, fourth one is bitwise operators, and fifth one is special operators. So bitwise operators, what are bitwise operators? Generally bitwise operators operates on a single bit of information. What is a bit? Bit means binary digit, either 0 or 1. Bitwise operators are generally works with or operated on bits, binary digits, that is shift left, binary shift, binary shift left, shift right, like that. And what are logical operators? Logical operators are and, or, not. So what are logical operators? Logical operators are generally and, or, not. What are and is generally used to represented with double ampersand, and or is represented with vertical bar, and not is used with represented with two vertical bars. And many other types of operators are also used. Conditional operator or ternary operators. Another type of operator in C language is conditional operator or ternary operator. It is also used to test a given expression. If the expression is true, then some value is assigned or executed. If the given expression is false, then another set of another value is assigned or expression is assigned. Assignment operators. So assignment operators are generally used with some combination of or formed with combination of two or more operators. Example is plus equals to, minus is equals to, star is equals to, like that. And comma operators. So all these are different types of operators used in C language. So what is precedence and associativity of operators? So what is precedence of operators? So generally while using and writing expressions in day-to-day life, we may follow some formula called BODMAS. BODMAS, it is called as BODMAS rule. What is BODMAS? BODMAS means first one is brackets, second one is off means multiplication, next is D for division, M for multiplication, A for addition, S for subtraction. So all these formulas or expressions are generally evaluated from left to right or right to left. So generally in expression, generally in a given in a expression, all the evaluation of expression or the precedence of expression is from generally from left to right or from right to left. So some operators are executed from left to right, and some operators are executed from right to left. So it is called as a precedence of operators. Precedence of operators. Many other types of operators are also available, like increment operators and decrement operators. They are also called as we discussed here, assignment operators. They are also called as assignment operators. Examples are like plus is equals to, minus is equals to, like that. So there are two compulsory essay type questions from first and second unit. First one is data types. Second one is operators, different types of operators in C language. So how an expression or how a given expression is executed in a C language. Generally, to evaluate or to execute the given expression in any language, the highest precedence operator, the highest preferred or highest precedence operator is first going to execute. So according to Budmar's rule, bracket is within the brackets. The expression or formula written in within the bracket is first executed, then outside the bracket. Generally, these expressions are evaluated from left to right basis. So, highest precedence or highest preference is given to brackets. So, there are different types of brackets are used, like ordinary brackets, square brackets, curly brackets, like that. So, first brackets, the first preference is given to ordinary brackets. So they are called as, why? Because they are generally used with functions and arrays. Then next is square brackets, like that. Next is unary operators. Again, there are two, here we use another terminology, unary and binary operators. So what are unary operators and what are binary operators? So unary operator means it is having, generally it is having a single operator or a single symbol. Examples are plus, minus, plus, exclamatory, like that. And in the fourth preference, multiplicative operators are comes, means star means multiplication, division means slash, remainder means percentage. All these operators will come in third position. Fourth one is additions and subtractions, means plus and minus symbols are used. Fifth preference is given to bitwise shift operators, means in the fifth preference we may generally use left shift and right shift operators, and in the sixth position we may use relational operators, that is less than or equals to, greater than and greater than or equals to. Seventh position, in the seventh position or seventh preference is given to assignment operators, like or equality operators, assignment or equality operators like equals to and double equals to. What is equals to? Equals to means assignment operator. Double equals to means it is a comparison operator. Equals to is generally used to assign some value on the right hand side to the variable in the variable written in the left hand side. And what are double equals to? So single equals to and double equals to, both are two different symbols. Single equals to is called as an assignment operator, whereas double equals to is used to test a given condition. Double equals to, single equals to is used with assignment operator, double equals to is used with as a, to test a given condition. What is a condition? What is a condition or expression? Expression means generally to test the given expression. What is a test or test case? Means to test the given condition is, or the given expression is true or false. So double equals to is generally used to test a given condition is true or false. So to compare two variables, or to compare two constants, or to compare two expressions, or combination of them, means to compare a variable with a expression, or a variable with some constant, like that. So example is, what are the examples for assignment operator and comparison operators. Simple example for is a is equals to 10. A is equals to 10 is a simple assignment operator by using a single equals to symbol. A double equals to 10 means it is a comparison operator. A is equals to 10 means here we assign the value of 10 to the variable A, whereas A double equals to 10 means here we may test the given condition. Here we may test the given condition. What is the condition? Condition means a given expression, to test whether the given expression is true or false. So what is the condition? A double equals to 10 means here we test whether A is 10 or not. Generally the result or output of a condition or expression have two types, a true value or a false value. If the given expression or given test is true, then a set of values or a set of statements are executed, whereas if the given expression or value is false, then another set of variables or another set of statements are executed. So single equals to is used for assignment operator, whereas double equals to is used for comparison operator. So next comes logical operators. Next preference is given to logical operators like and, or, not. And, or, not. What are and, or, not? They are called as logical operators. Then it comes to bitwise operators. So what are bitwise operators? Bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise XOR, like that. Then comes to conditional operators or ternary operator. Ternary operator or conditional operator. Then assignment operators or increment and decrement operators. Increment or decrement operators. All these are different operators. All these are different types of operators generally used in C language. Then it comes assignment operators or increment or decrement operators. So what are increment and assignment operators? Equals to, plus equals to, minus is equals to, star is equals to, slash is equals to. All these are symbols, and every symbol have its own meaning and condition, rules, like that. Last it comes comma operator. So all these are different categories of precedence of operators. Generally they may execute from in two types. Some operators are executed from left to right, and some operators are executed from right to left. Means they start from left and goes towards right. Some are from right to left. So this table is called as order of precedence, or precedence of symbols, or precedence of operators in C language. Next, so what are conditions? Next in this slide we may discuss about what is a condition and what are conditional operators or control statements. What are control statements? What is a condition and how to test a given condition or expression in C language, like that. So generally in C language we may test the given condition by using if statements. They are called as control statements. That is chapter 3 or unit 3 that we may discuss later. In this PPT or in this slide we may simply explain about what is a condition or a test expression and how to execute a given conditions, what are the results of a condition, like that. So generally in C language conditions are executed or tested by using if statement. So if statement is generally used to test the given condition whether if it is true or false, What is a condition? Generally a condition is generally used to test if the given expression is true or false. Based on the output or result we may execute some statements. Means, for example, if A is greater than B, if it is true, then A is the maximum value, otherwise B is the maximum value. So that is A is greater than B is the expression, and that expression is called as a condition. So to test such type of conditions we may use if statements, or they are also called as control statements. Or we may simply use if statements. So in C language, if you want to test a given condition or expression, whether if it is true or false, we may use if statement. So what is this flowchart explains about how to use if statement or how to test a given condition. So what is the syntax? So test expression, if it is true some set of statements are executed, and if it is false another set of statements are executed. Here there are two types of if statements are used. First one is called as a simple if statement. It is only having some true part, and another type of statement is called as if else statement. Generally it is having two parts, if part, and having two parts, true or false, true condition or false condition. Means if the given condition is true some statements are executed, and if the given condition is false another set of statements are executed. So these are the flowcharts and corresponding programs and simple examples how to use simple if statements in a C language. So here we may write a program whether the given age is greater than 18 or not. So in the first program we may test for if the given age of the voter, is whether the voter is eligible to vote or not, means here we simply accept the age of a person and test for if the age is greater than or equal to 18. If the age is 18, more than 18, then he is eligible to vote, otherwise he is not eligible. So this is a simple program using if statement. So the first line we may use some comments, or we may write some comments here. So how to write comments in C language? By using slash, star and star slash symbol. Within that we may write some comments or remarks. Next line is hash include stdio.h. So what is in the previous class, as we discussed in the previous class, C program generally contains different parts or sections. First part is called as definition, comments or remarks part. Second one is called as hash include, they are also called as directives. Hash include, generally hash include is generally used to include some header files, so we know that there are many types of header files are used in C language. What is a header file? A header file is nothing but it simply contains a collection of similar types of functions. For example, stdio.h is a header file. stdio.h is a header file. It contains all the standard input output functions. Means all the input output functions, as we know that we already discussed in the previous classes. Scanf and printf are two basic input output functions used in C language. So stdio is a stdio.h, and every header file is generally having .h header file, .h extension. There are many such types of header files are used, like stdio.h, math.h, codio.h, like that. So hash include is generally used to include any type of header files. Next line, in the next line we may use main function. The next line we may use main function. What is the main function? Main function is the main, it is a one and only function. It is a compulsory function used in the used in any C language. Generally, main function contains all the necessary parts or components or functions of a C language. So after that we may start program with some curly brackets. After that we may use or we may declare local variables. What are local variables? How to declare a variable? By using some data type. So here we may use int space age, semicolon. Here int is the data type, age is some variable, semicolon. What is a semicolon? Means another rule is every C program generally have a semicolon at the end of the line. Next, some statements. We may write some statements or some function, some statements. So what are the basic input output functions? Scanf and printf. What are the basic input output functions? Scanf function and printf function. Scanf function is the standard input function. It is used to simply accept some values, whereas printf is the standard output function used to display some output or used to display some result on the screen. And after that we may use if statement. So what is the if statement or if function? If statement or if function is generally used to test the given condition, whether it is true or false. So the syntax is if age is greater than or equals to 18. Next, in the next line we may simply display or show or display some message on the screen, like printf within quotes some message. So this is the simple program using how to write a simple program in C language. So another topic which we already discussed in the previous classes is C tokens. C token or tokens of C language. So what are the C language tokens? What is a token? Token means the smallest unit of a C program is called as a token. Means basic unit of a programming language. Basic unit of a programming language is called as a token. So there are many such type of tokens are used, like keywords or reserved words, identifiers or variables, constants, operators, like that. Keywords or reserved words. Generally they are the reserved for any C program, and they cannot be used as a variable in a program. Identifiers are variables